Fade in.
Greetings, fellow beings. Ho-ho! We are on post-flight number 3, and normally I would do a big falderall introduction for a guest to my left, to your right. It's the Common Nerd. What's going on, Jesse? Tell everybody what you're about, what you do, and everything else in between.
Well, like Culture said, I'm the Common Nerd. I do pop culture and nerd news videos all the time. We do live streams. Sometimes we do video games. I hang out on other people's channel, like 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. He's got Comic Shop Talk tonight. That's always fun. But yeah, it's one of them situations where I got tired. I got kind of burnt out a little bit of the political realm, of the political sphere. Got a little disillusioned because of the way a couple of things went. And Gary kept screaming and kept yelling, start a channel if you think you got something to say. And there's an old saying by Breitbart that culture or politics are downstream of culture. And I figured even if we fix things in the political realms, that forgets about the next generation, because then the next generation is going to still be trained on all of this exact garbage in the culture sphere. Because nobody, the adults in the room think culture is childish and think it's pointless. Well, as a guy with a 5th kid on the way, I think the culture is very, very, very important. So much so that I decided to turn on a camera and get a microphone going and started screaming into the ether. And apparently some people started taking notice. So, because we're inching our way closer and closer to 3,700 subscribers. And that was 1,000 last October. And so, it's one of them things. It's going well. I'm having a good time. I've made a lot of really good friends. I've talked to a lot of really amazing people, like people I've talked to, like legitimate Hollywood folks. And like, I never thought anything like that would ever happen. So it's been an absolute blast. And of course, Culture, you are a great influence. I was watching you long before I turned on a camera as well. So And now we're here hanging out together on your Friday show. And it's a wonderful Friday. It's a wonderful Friday out in my garage. We got a nice breeze going. So
it is indeed. And I just want to say thanks for joining me today. We've got some future guests coming up that I'm excited about, but I love talking to people who I've spent time with on the regular. If you have not spent time with Jesse the Common Nerd and Diesel on the amazing show that I've been a guest on a few times, you should check them out because they do a lot of great stuff. And my man here does more than that. He does incredible videos, I have always said. And I think he's an up and comer. I think he's going to go by me. I think that's going to happen. I know.
Too kind.
I don't know about that. Speaking of being too kind, I have to be kind to myself and 2 business partners. And if you didn't get here early, I'm going to subject you to the commercial one more time. Hey, Brother Diesel, good to see you. And then we'll say hi to everybody in the chat. Check out Beach Punk. Do you have style and flair? A bit of savoir-faire? Well, you're in luck. For just a few bucks, it's not out of reach. Time to get back to the beach. That's right. Beach Punk is now available for a limited time exclusively from Mixed Teas. The Make America Beach Again line is top-notch, top quality, and all about answering that question, are you beach enough? I know I'm enough. Are you? Be prepared for your very own beach off. We've got towels. We've got t-shirts. We've got muscle tanks too. And if you're cold-blooded, we also have hoodies. Not to mention mouse pads and so much more. Check out the ever-expanding line of Beach Punk gear available at Mixed Tees. Your home for YouTube-exclusive clothing from your favorite creators. From the minds of Dick's Division comes Beach Punk. Are you enough? So are you enough there, the common nerd? Are you enough?
Oh, I'm so enough. I'm enough for everything. I'm enough for me. I'm too enough for everyone else is what it comes down to.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that. But let's say hi to some folks real quick and we'll get the show underway. We got John Sapola hanging out with us today. We've got Vulcan Lives Matter. What's up, Vulcan Lives? We got Penny. Hello, Penny. Greetings, dear. Thanks for being here. We got JB Spooky's review. We got an incredible, generous gift from our good friend Lester San Jose. 10 CultureCasino memberships. I'm telling you, the High Roller stream is going to be busy tomorrow. Guys, check out that time. It has been listed. It is a morning time in the East Coast and the West Coast. So do check the schedule for tomorrow. And I will be dropping the links to the High Rollers, which include Lester San Jose. I think we're going to have a good time on that show. We got Tim here, Yaknomino here. Looks like the lovely Sherry. I love it when Sherry's here. She's so stabby. Let's see. We got check it out. It's Valiant Renegade, $4.99 here, saying 400 live shows each week. CultureCasino. Well, yeah. Sorry. Well, maybe not 400. Someday I'll be able to whittle them all down so I can only do, 2 or 3 a week. Valiant, you're going to have to teach me your ways because I don't know how to do it. But I'm glad you're here, Valiant. I love you, man. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Let's see. Cajun Corey's hanging out. Shrek PMC is hanging out. My mod, Darren Hughes, is hanging out. You got Darcipio's here. You got Coach O Dragon. And you got, Ghostbusters, the Peter Venkman fan site. Greetings, dear. Thanks for being here. Did I say hi to Shrek PMC? I think I did. James Dosher's here. We got Chase in Texas. There's the great Toxic Man Flu. He's going to be a guest on the show in the very near future. Love that guy. Love this guy. Brahma Bull, another future guest. Of course, I have to bring all my brother dicks on. That didn't sound right. But I have to. That really sounded bad, actually. All of my Dick's Division brothers and sisters, I'm going to bring them on to hang out with me. That'll be fun. And we got the Diesel here. And Jesse's got his dog tags on. I love it. Darth Gute Ares is here. We got Morgan King here. Look at all these lovely humans. Unlimited power. And so many more. E. Clay Thomason dropped a member chat saying, Culture, you have 400 shows a week, but at least one of them is almost guaranteed to be good. Almost. Thank you for that, E. Clay Thomason. Let's see. Who else rolled in there? Oh, the lovely Katina Martin is here. Let's see. A couple more folks we can get to. Oh, there's that member chat I just read. Thanks for that, E. Clay. Zacharoth315. What's up, my friend? And let's get rolling. I know that they're wrapping up soon. They're over on FNT, so I'm sure our audience will grow as it usually does. And once again, thank you, Lester. I appreciate your contributions to the channel today, my friend. Oh, I forgot about Daryl the Derelict. Oh, and the incredible comic artist himself, Jason Sandberg, for $2 saying, have a great weekend. Hail the chat. Hail indeed. Aha. I'm excited. So let's get right into it. Now, we have a structure to this show, which I don't normally have. The first thing we're going to start out with, as we always do on this show, is something called three questions. Are you ready? Let's get into it. All right, Jesse, the first 3 questions are questions that are pretty standard for first-time guests. So you've already kind of got an inkling of what I'm going to ask you, because I think it would be unfair if you came in unprepared. And if you've ever done a national interview show or ever been part of one, you know that you get something called a pre-interview. So I feel it's safe to find out, things that you want to talk about. But in this case, you were a little tardy getting here, so you're less prepared than I would have hoped. But that's okay. So we're going to start out with, what is your favorite television show of all time? Now, mind you, That's a large question. You've been around this planet for a while. So, what is your favorite, or what would you say is your favorite television show of all time? What's the standard?
Of all time. Well, that for television shows, that'd probably be a little bit more difficult because I've had a lot of good ones over the years, but I've always been a huge fantasy fan, but there's never been a lot of really good, like long running fantasy series on television. They always end up ending too quickly. So honestly, it'd probably have to be Babylon 5, just because that was my first introduction really to a science fiction show that I actually got to catch when it first premiered initially on USAA all the way until it ended. And now there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And so that would probably have to be it, just because I got to see that one from beginning to end when it premiered, when it was out. The characters were amazing. The aliens were crazy. There was all different kinds. It didn't really seem like it took, like I'd seen some episodes of Star Trek and stuff like that, and it didn't seem to take like really any tropes from Star Trek, other than they were both kind of like in the sci-fi genre. Whereas, and it wasn't really episodic. It wasn't really, or serialized, I guess is the word for it, where it's like every individual episode's a single story, a kind of its own contained story. Whereas Babylon 5 always had long overarching arcs. And that was one of the things that I liked about it. A lot of the time there was always your weekly problem to solve, on the episode, but at the exact same time, there was always that background kind of mystery going on, which is one of the things I always liked about Supernatural. Back at its heyday, you had the episodic stuff that went on every week, but there was always that overarching, there's a big problem that the entire season's going to have to solve. And that's one of the things I really loved about Babylon 5. And you still had psychics too, right? Like straight, like legitimate psychics in it. So it wasn't like full on science fiction where it was just dealing with aliens. You had like legit human psychers, and so there was still a little bit of a fantasy aspect to it. And then when you got later on into some of the seasons, and spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen it, the big alien that's always in his rubber suit, or is always in his atmospheric suit. Yeah, it turns out the reason why he's wearing that is because he's actually an angel. Like that's what his species look like, and represents to every single species that sees him. You see your version of an angel. So you've even got like some mythology and like heaven and hell kind of stuff going on, because you've got the shadow that are like these crazy, evil, quasi almost demon alien species. So it's like, it's got a little bit of everything. And then there's still interpersonal drama, which, make for some of the best moments. But it was one of those, like, it's a solid one. And I haven't got a chance to see the new animated one that just came out, but the original creator's back for it. I'm always bad about pronouncing his name. Yeah. Straczynski, I think. Something like that. But yeah, he's been really excited about it. He seems to be really pleased with it. Everything I read about it sounded like it was going to be really good. I've heard some mixed reviews, but then at the exact same time, we don't trust the critics anymore, which is why we turned on microphones and cameras and started screaming about movies, because they can't be trusted anymore. So I'm excited to check it out and see hopefully where the rest of this might go, as far as Warner Brothers being desperate for money, and they know what IPs work. And if Babylon 5 is a huge success and was a huge success 30 years ago, then hopefully it keeps going. So yeah, that's my long answer for that one.
Well, I think the audience and I appreciated it because you were able to very well articulate your reasons for enjoying that program and why it was so important to you. So well done. We have a lot of people also that I was highlighting throughout your conversation there, your monologue. And yeah, The Office, a lot of people enjoy that as well. So there's so much to offer. I like that everybody has a different favorite and a different love. So we'll move on to the next question. This is the second question. What film is your go-to when you are homesick? What's your comfort film, Jesse?
I remember reading that earlier and thinking about it. And it would, like, the first thing, because I normally just go with my first instinct, right? Because normally that's generally your best whenever you had the multiple choice tests back in school, right? Go with your first instinct. And it's gonna probably sound kind of weird, but V for Vendetta. And like, it's just because it's one of those movies that I can literally watch over and over and over again and never complain. Most of the time when I'm sick or I'm not feeling good, I'll just throw on YouTube with one of the ghost channels, all the ghost footage ones where they go through and analyze all of that stuff. Like Frostmare or one of those guys, and I'll just leave that going forever and ever. But yeah, as far as a movie that I would go to, V for Vendetta would be a good one, just because it's such a well-written story. And I know I've never read the comic, and I know that's probably heresy for somebody who enjoys that movie so much. But I've always loved the dystopian future thing, being kind of more on the libertarian kind of perspective, kind of the free and independent thinking kind of person. Like, I love all of the aspects of that movie because it reminds you how bad things can go if people let them. And even then, it doesn't make it to where there's the villains, right? There's the guys that are more responsible than others. But like V says in that speech, at the end of the day, the only ones we have to blame are ourselves. And that's so representative of not only the world in V for Vendetta, but also in our own reality, because people in power, whether it be, the studios that have control of our IPs, or your leaders out there, like, there's still more of us than them. We're still the paying customer at the end of the day. And on either side of things. So it's one of them situations where it's still our fault. And like, that's going back to the whole culture thing. It's like, that's the reason why I got in the middle of it. That's the reason why I started making videos and yelling about things, because I'm not gonna face my creator and have to bow my head in shame and go, I didn't try. I didn't do enough. And a movie like that gives such a wonderful warning, and there's still such a great redemption arc, and there's still just a great kind of, at the same time, it's still kind of a fun superhero story, even with all of the crazy political kind of stuff the political messaging and kind of ideology wrapped up in it as well. And like I said, it's a really long one too. So if you're not feeling good, you've got plenty of time to fall asleep before the credits roll. And it's just a really fun movie. So that's my first instinct guest on that one.
Wow, dude, you're crushing it. All right. Scott, he's got a quick question for you. Didn't quite make out what you said. What was the ghost channel that you mentioned?
Oh, Frostmare, either King Frostmare, you can look up that one, or he's got another one that's just a 24/7 live stream of all of his videos of him reviewing those ghosts on literal loop. Helps my wife and I use it to go to sleep at night all the time. Because he's got to be like Russian or like somewhere over there from that Eastern Bloc because of his accent. And yeah, King Frostmare or Frostmare. He's got Frostmare TV. He's got all of those ones. So FROSTMARE. So Frost and Nightmare combined. But yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Dude, you're killing it. Like I said, 2 for 2 on the answers. I think a lot of people are enjoying those. Okay. Question numero 3. This one's the tricky one, right? So we just got your comfort answer. Let's get to the tricky one. The third one is, what was your best film experience? Not your favorite film, but the best film experience that you had. Any of it. Could be anywhere.
That's easy then, since we're just doing experience.
Yeah.
When I know this is a PG show, Culture, but I'll instead of using the proper term that everybody in the Rocky Horror Picture Show realm loses the first time you go to see your very first showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That, hands down, best movie going experience. Is it my favorite movie? No, it's a great one, and I can watch it anytime. But when you go into that theater, everybody knows what you're doing. It's normally an older theater that's what they do. They show replays. They show, old movies that they've got the licenses to. It's mom and pop kind of place. And normally around Halloween, around October timeframe, they always start doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And if you have never been to a Rocky Horror Picture screening, I highly recommend it. Put it on your bucket list. This is an experience like you will never go to see another kind of movie. You literally go in there, you get a brown bag, and it's got all of your different props in it. Literally, this is a movie you go to where they give you props. Okay. You go in there, and if they play the right version, it tells you on the screen when to utilize each prop. So you've got confetti for the wedding scene, or some of them do bubbles now just because it's less of a mess to clean up than the confetti. But, try to find the ones that do the confetti. And there's the little, New Year's Day, the little blowers, the little noisemakers. They've got those in there that you play at certain times. Like, everybody gets up and dances. When the time warp comes on, a lot of people will get up out of their seats. There'll be people dancing in the aisles. And I mean, it's an absolute blast. I got an opportunity to see at we used to have we still have a Comic-Con down here, but now we've got a different one than the old one we used to have, which was called RealmsCon. And RealmsCon had a midnight productions that used to come down every year, and they would do a gender bender version. They would do a straight version, and they would do a gender bender version of Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I always went to the gender bending one because the lady who ran the troupe and owned the company, her daughter would play Frankenfurter in the corset on Saturday night. And although the lady was, she looked like your average theater director, let's just put it that way, her daughter, on the other hand, fit the outfit very well. And so like, I've got so many great memories of that movie, but going to the theater, getting that grab bag full of things, seeing people dance up. I went with some really good friends of mine. One of the retired shop chiefs while I was in the Air Force. I went and saw it in Little Rock, Arkansas. This was one of the this was back before it was common for theaters to have alcohol. Now it's like almost all of them have it. So we actually got to have a beer and go in there and enjoy it. And it was just an absolute blast. I'll never forget that. And I highly recommend anybody and everybody go to one if you haven't been yet. So. You're muted, Culture.
I just realized that. The great answer once again, Jesse. Well done. I just repeated myself, but it's fine. We got a super chat in the chat. Super chat in the chat. We're gonna say hi to that and move forward. Give me just a moment, please. Delete the video. There we go. All right, let's jump on this from Pete O'Shea's Helicopter Tour. Says for $2, Man on Fire is my go-to. One of Denzel's best role. I think you're going to be enjoying the third film of the Equalizer series. I think that's going to be right up there with Man on Fire. And I heard somebody say Man on Fire 2. I don't know how you would do that. He's kind of dead, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, but no, I'm very excited. So that's a great answer. I think I've enjoyed my share of Rocky Horror Picture Show adventures. I remember as a young person doing that. Yeah. And then I got older. It's funny. You can make a lot of mistakes early in your life going into your early 20s. It's just, you have to learn from them. And I think that was one of the points I made in the video that I did today, not to toot my own horn, but hey, I just did. All right, Jesse, thank you for those amazing 3 answers. We have now kicked off the show with 3 questions. If you're just getting here, because as the audience grows, I know that's what happens. You can go back and rewatch the show. You will very much be entertained. Jesse's been killing it so far. So we ran our commercial. We did our 3 things. Now we got to get to some weird news. You want to see some weird news?
I love weird news.
All right.
I love the
Of course I cut you off. So
no, that was perfect. I love those things. Those are great. I love it. You've got little cuts for every little segment. That's freaking awesome.
Hey, well, this is a structured show. We're gonna have a good time. So these are fun stories. I always pick out some fun stuff with the weird news, because I mean, I do the weird news thing at the end if I can find a story every 6-minute daily, because I think it's important not to take everything so serious, and a lot of the stuff I cover is incredibly serious, or tangentially related to serious things. Yeah, we've got let's do this. Here's a weird thing. So if you were in Texas and you had an outdoor camera, which many Texans do, they probably have a lot of them, especially if you're out in the in the boondocks. Yeah, well, and yeah, you probably have some firearms as well. But let's say you have an outdoor camera and you saw this. That's right. A mystery animal was caught on camera in Texas, in a Texas neighborhood. And now they're trying to figure out, the heck is this?
El chupacabra. That's a chupacabra.
No, it isn't.
Come on, man. Yes, it is. Chupacabra. They finally found one. Real. All the mythology's true.
A chupa thingy. This doesn't look like a chupa thingy.
Well, you don't know. That's because all you've ever seen is drawings and people's descriptions of them. This is probably what one actually looks like. You got a video? Does the video play?
Doesn't it look like an African wild dog that hunt in packs and kill people?
You mean like a hyena or like an actual African dog?
No, the African wild dog is one of the most Yeah, they're one of the most dangerous out there. They hunt in packs. They coordinate as a team. They're terrifying. Yeah, they make lions look sad. Anyway, well, let's get on to the story here. So apparently a Texas woman is seeking help identifying a mystery animal she caught on camera in her neighborhood. It just goes on to give her name. She snapped some pictures when she looked out from her hill country village home and spotted something that left her stumped. And the creature was feasting on berries that had fallen from a bush. So it's omnivorous, apparently. And then she posted the photos on Nextdoor, where neighbors offered theories, including the mythical chupa thingy. Chupa thingy.
Chupacabra.
I don't think it's a chupa thingy. I don't think it's a chalupa. I don't think it's any of those things. Some think it's a cross between a coyote and a dog. It has weird ears, though, right? And then I didn't see a tail. Let's take you know what? I'm going to scroll back up. What the heck?
It kind of looked like it had a tail.
Oh yeah, it does have a tail.
Yeah, it's got a tail.
Doesn't it look like I mean, it's like, okay, it could have been a coyote and a dog. Maybe. Like, what kind of dog? Look at those ears, man. That's a trip.
Well, the ears are weird. And it almost looks like, I mean, it's hard to tell from that because
rat
it's paws,
dog?
but it almost looks like it's got like tusks. Yeah, like tusks or something coming out of the front of its mouth.
A chupa thingy. Anyway, all right. So the city of Country Village said officials have reached out to Texas Game. Zoo veterinarians said it appears to be a canine with mange or other skin issues. All right. Texas Parks and Wildlife had a creature conundrum of their own in April when a trail cam caught an image of a mystery animal. Officials found difficult to identify. So no idea what this is. Mange? I can understand mange, but what kind of dog would that be? That's a messed up dog, man.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen of some of the coyotes down here, now I don't know, this was hill country, so that's farther out west. I'm in South Texas, but I mean, the tail definitely kind of looks coyote. Maybe, yeah, that exactly. Yeah, that's exactly this. You asked at the beginning of this, what would we do if we saw it outside? Well, that in Texas, yeah, that's normally what you do.
What is that? Shoot it. Oh,
yeah. We'll find out later. We'll find out later.
Yeah, shoot first, ask questions later. Is the image altered? I don't think so. This is straight from the news. This is so weird. No, I don't. Let's see. We'll probably
New at 10.
So there's a chick talking about it. Wait, let's see what these other pictures are. Okay.
See, it doesn't look very big either. So like coyote kind of makes sense. It doesn't look very big.
Chupa thingy.
Chupacabra.
Oh, wait. That's a good one. Oh, no, shoot.
Oh, no. Doesn't have a pause.
Stop it. There we go.
I hate that stupid thing.
Look at that.
See, yeah.
That's a weird thing.
The ears are definitely kind of odd. That's the only thing where I'm like leaning against a coyote is the ears are kind of odd. But I mean, you've seen dogs' ears flip back and forth like that. So
weird. Uncommon, it's like taxidermy gone wrong. It's bear man pig.
There you go.
I
knew a bear man pig.
You guys are so funny, and all the everybody in the South is like, just shoot it, figure it out later.
It's exactly. We'll throw that sucker on ice, and we'll take it to the local. What's up, all right?
And then the next question is, can you eat it?
Yeah, when they look funny like that, we generally try to avoid that aspect of it, unless you're really desperate. But it is out in the hill country, so God only knows what those woods.
Well, and you know what? Yeah, I would say it's a Yodi, but it ain't like no Yodi that's been in my backyard recently. You know, I get to see those puppies all the time. Dude, I have 4 foxes that are like right here too, man. They're crazy. They're fearless too. They're trying to live under my house. What are you guys doing? There's plenty of go. There's lots of space behind the house. Go dig under a tree someplace. Leave me alone. It's a mutt.
Yeah, it's definitely a mutt.
It's pretty wild. All right, so that was story number 1, Jesse. So
how many weird stories?
Well, I don't know. We're working. We have at least 3. I always have at least 3.
All right, dope.
Yeah, we're gonna get Stuttering Guitarist. Hey, what's going on? For $5 says, to be fair, maybe a dog had beer goggles. The four-legged walk of shame. so
I like
there's
that.
a dog out there with illegitimate spouse excuse me, illegitimate children, and doesn't know what spouse it had at the time.
No, that makes complete
was like, we
sense.
have gators. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
We do have those too, right
yeah.
down the street.
No, the foxes can't get to anything. They can't even get in the greenhouses, so I'm not worried so much about it. But they don't really like any of the citrus or any of the stuff that falls off the trees, and they don't go after the berries. So I don't know what they're here for, to be fair. So I think they just like the safety and the quiet. Ever since the bear dog is not with us anymore, I don't have anybody to chase off the vermin hunters, because that's what fox do. They hunt vermin. I don't want to shoo them off too far, because they're awesome. But thank you, Stuttering Guitarist, for your comment there, my friend. Yeah, I really think it's something. It's two dogs crossed together, or a coyote and a dog. I mean, they are canine. So.
Well, and the mange aspect of it makes sense too, because the way their skin looks, and when the dogs got mange and stuff like that, it would make sense. And out in the wild with the coyotes, who knows? So yeah, no.
Yeah, yotes. Yeah, yotes are yotes are everywhere out here, and now and we're seeing a lot of bobcats and stuff too. But anyway, all right. So firefighters corral. Oh, wait! I didn't even show you this. You're like, what the hell? We got the second.
What are we talking about?
This. I'm trying to get there. Hang on. Shooty.
Well, you figure it out. Weekly. You ever see the Weekly World News culture? I love the Weekly World News. That's why I love weird stories. I know. This is even better.
I know. This Ben Hooper coughed up another one for UPI. Says firefighters corral escaped bearded dragon in Indiana. Can I tell you something? Y'all should be able to catch a bearded dragon. On a high. You just wait till it cools off and they get slower. Or throw ice around them. Slow them down. It's just, come on, guys. It's a reptile. Oopsie. Yeah. See, they got it in a box.
Why couldn't they just pick him up?
I don't know. And they're normally fairly friendly if it's a pet,
right? Like, why do they have to get like the little freaking like dog like neck clipper things out and everything else? Like, why do you have to get the Like, was that really like? Like what town was this? What place was this?
All right. Well, firefighters in Indiana said they responded to an interesting call when a reported animal on the loose turned out to be a bearded dragon. So the Sullivan Fire Department, in a Facebook post, crews responded to assist police about a loose reptile that a 911 caller feared to be venomous. It's a freaking bearded dragon. They're nice. Dude, throw a bunch of ants and crap at it and lettuce and junk. I don't know. They're nice lizards. However, after police and fire arrived on the scene, it was soon just a, bearded dragon named Hiccup. Aww. Named after How to Train Your Dragon. Hiccup. If you guys ever watch that. So the friendly pet was reunited with its grateful. I bet it was, because they're like, hey, there's Hiccup. And you know what? Everybody probably laughed. So, see? Not all the news I have is bad. Not all.
So you're telling me Hiccup got himself in a hiccup?
Yeah. Crazy, right? Gecko commercial audition, says Darth Plato. Yes, that's what happens.
Yes, absolutely.
Far away, Findley joins us. Says, all we get around my ways is hedgehogs, foxes, and rats. Yeah, I would prefer not to have the rats. Hedgehogs can be annoying, especially if you have a garden, and foxes, well, they take care of the vermin. So foxes like to eat the rats if they can, and other things as well. So yeah. Oh yeah, dry ice fog would have worked too. You just don't want to use too much, because you want to be able to breathe. We got a new member. Thank you, Stuttering Guitarist, for joining us. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Gold Club. We appreciate it. There's the great Space Dave 2000, getting ready to launch that new channel. I'm so stoked. Yeah, in the Keys. Yes, this is true in Florida. My brother said 6-foot iguana falls out of the trees if it gets cold. It does. It does rain iguanas. I am not kidding you. And if you ever see a stunned iguana in Florida when it's cold, unless it's in the road some way or something, or going to be something that's likely to run over it, you don't even just leave it be, because once it warms up, it'll start moving again. So yeah, just remember that is not uncommon. Iguanas are everywhere in Florida. Wow.
That's
It
hilarious.
does happen. Yeah. 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 Oh, somebody asked, why didn't he name him Toothless? I don't know. Maybe Toothless is his tank mate. You don't know. I don't know. Maybe they have male and female bearded dragons. You don't know. I don't know. They're having a huge problem with the Argentinian tegu. Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
a tegu?
It's another aminal lizard. They're also making their way up the East Coast. There's some towns in here. That was some more stories about lizards that I didn't grab. Because again, I find myself with a plethora of odd news. Speaking of a plethora of things, I now have a plethora of members, courtesy of Space Dave, 2000 being incredibly generous again. Once again, thank you, Space Dave, for 5 Culture Casino memberships. That's right. It means Uncommon Sense, Read by Nature, Brett Cohen, and Wabbit777, and Brian Pizzera all get Culture Casino memberships. We have the Meet the High Rollers stream tomorrow on Saturday morning. If you are interested in meeting the high rollers, the people on the top tier of the membership, we do a public stream with those folks, whether they like it or not. So seeing as how many join, it could be a long show or a short show, but it usually is a poop show. But no, it's a lot of fun. And come and meet everybody that shows up. I would appreciate it. And thanks again, Space Dave. 2000. I want to see Culture Casino throw ice at a 10-foot gator. No. The idea is to get far away from 10-foot gator. Although, again, unless it's crazy hungry or I've crazy upset it or it's guarding something, usually just best leave them alone. I've golfed around gators. Like I've hit a golf ball. Like, dude, I need to take this shot. You stay there. Because it just happens in Florida and other southern states. I mean, it's not the only place.
Yeah, we've got gators down here around the lake, but we don't have any like come anywhere near the beach or anything like that. I guess they don't like salt water or something.
They're not gators. They're saltwater. Excuse me. They're not gators. Crocodiles. You had saltwater crocs. So, yeah.
Fortunately enough, I don't think we have to worry about that.
I've seen iguanas swim in saltwater. So that's a whole other conversation.
I've never seen an iguana in the wild. That'd be kind of cool.
No,
yeah. Never been to Florida. Never been to that side of Florida. I guess I was in Pensacola, but they didn't have no. We had manatees and dolphins and sharks, but I didn't have no iguanas walking around.
Manatees, dolphins, and sharks. Oh my! Manatees, dolphins, and sharks. I'm sorry. All right.
It was really cool because you'd see them. You'd see the shark. The manatees would swim around, and then the sharks would chase the manatees off, and then the dolphins would chase the sharks off. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it does rain iguanas in South Florida and tegus in Central Florida. True story. Not a lie, rate specialist. Not a lie. Don't hedgehogs only eat chili dogs? No, but thank you, RJ Godzilla. I appreciate it. The Uncommon Nerd for Uncommon Times. Indeed. Thank you, Space Dave. I want to thank Culture for teaching me the word plethora. It means a lot. Thank you, lovely Sherry. I wish I had Tom here for sound effects. All right. High roller stream where Culture talks to the peasants. Oh, would you stop it? I don't like that at all. I love all of you.
Did you hear that one?
Let's see. What else is happening? Oh, I need to get to the next story. You want to hear another weird one? This one's kind of interesting.
I'm always down for a weird one.
Yeah.
I don't know how that sounds, actually. Hold on. I might have to take that back.
It probably didn't sound good. Yeah, there's a joke that goes along with this one, but I'm not going to say it because I don't curse on my show except on Sundays if I can help it. But this one you're going to appreciate. Football practice delayed due to bear on field. That's right.
That's the only time the Bears have ever made it in the end zone.
It's pretty rare. It looks like he's doing pretty good down there. Looks like he's doing pretty good. Let's see if we can check this out. Yep, there he goes. He's having fun. Look at him go.
He's having the time of his life. Happiest bear on the planet.
That's so great. Fair enough. Or bare enough. I love it. Anyways, check out the story. Tennessee high school football team's practice was temporarily, that's the word, delayed when a bear ran onto its field. Brad Wagner, head coach of the Gatlinburg Pittman Highlanders, tweeted a video showing a bear that showed up during the team's practice. Just another day in the Smoky Mountains. That's right. You just leave him be. That's a youngin'. That's a little guy. So Wagner said the team was coming out of the weight room when the bear ran down from the home stands, and onto the field. That's so great. It left after about 10 minutes. Well, sure, it got its exercise. It had to do the stairs first. It did you used to have to run the bleachers or the stairs, depending upon your stadium, and then get ready for practice. I mean, he probably watched the football players do it a lot and said, "What's this? What are they doing? That looks like fun. Give it a go." What do you think, Jess?
No, I think it's absolutely hilarious. I think that bear watching, I mean, that's one of the crazy parts about living anywhere near wilderness, right? Like a lot of these people that have lived only in cities their entire their lives, they don't understand it. Like when you live out by the woods, you're going to deal with wild animals, and some of them are crazy and some of them are dangerous. And that's why it's best just to leave them all alone. This isn't Pooh Bear, you're not going to be able to go up to him with a jar of honey and him not slash your face off, like just let them do their thing. We're infringing on their area anyway. Just respect them, let them have it. And then they'll wander themselves off. But yeah, I love them. Yeah. Don't feed them. Do not feed the bears. Okay. Buy a CB radio. Do not feed the bears.
True story. Shadow Chaser says, again, with the excessive superfluous polysyllabic usage, Tom would be most displeased. Indeed.
Does Tom like single syllable?
That's right. If you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, then I guess you hug a bear. I don't know. Very weird game. Very weird game. Pinochet's Helicopter Tour says the only wildlife we get in Massachusetts is golfing coyotes and random animated falling ice monsters. Yeah, I know. That seems to have killed a roof. That was the story I wrapped up the 6-minute daily with today. An ice ball. They think fell from a plane, but here's the thing: sometimes ice just instantly flash freezes in the sky, moisture, and just and falls like an asteroid. So it just does.
Weather's weird.
Yeah. Stuttering guitarist, and that was still better practice than Detroit. Yes, it was. Darren Hughes says we once had a bear delay for an archery tournament. I believe that.
Nice.
Yeah, don't play with bears. You were crunchy and taste good with ketchup. True, but the bear doesn't need the ketchup. It'll forego the condiments it has to. Oh wow, the new team quarterback, Winnie the Pooh. That's right. Darth Plato says so. It wasn't the mascot. Nah. You ever have any weird animal stories with sports there, Jesse?
Do I have any good animal sports with any stories with animals? No, not with sports. Not really. No, we had raccoons tear up some people's trunks when I went Boy Scout camping. That was about the extent of that. So yeah, I wasn't much of a sports guy. I watch Warhammer tournaments for my sports on Saturdays.
Yeah, we had, what was it? I think it was a rabbit that was just going mad across the field, like nobody could catch it, and it's right in the middle of the playing surface. It was bananas. I think it was a rabbit. It wasn't a raccoon. So that's probably a rabbit. BB True says, CultureCasino, finally get to see you live. Well, thank you for being here. I'm glad you're seeing this live.
I do have a cool story with a deer and a flight line, though.
What?
So I'm an aircraft structures mechanic by trade, right? I was in the Air Force for a while. I used to work flight line all the time. So we had two animal contacts with C-130s while I was there. One of them was a bald eagle. That wasn't fun. Glad I didn't have to clean that up. The second one was a deer. It caught the landing gear as they were running across the propeller. Didn't really do anything to the aircraft or even the deer. Just kind of knocked the deer silly. But it was funny to watch across the flight line happen all at the exact same time because the deer just kind of shakes its head and runs off.
Yeah, that's always
the rubber wheels.
Yeah, that's always a weird thing when I see stuff happen. I like weird stuff, man. I watched a semi truck. Of course, I told this story once before, not a good one. I watched a story just absolutely destroy a giant buck. Right. Mm-hmm. The other time I saw it happen, all it did was it caught the rear quarter end. Didn't hurt the buck other than to spun it around. It was insane. The truck kind of moved and it just caught a glancing blow, and it probably dented the truck, but the buck just went and then got up, ran off. I was like, oh, geez. And it was a big puppy. It was a big buck. Big, many points, like huge. Anyway.
We've got a deer herd over here in my neighborhood because we're pretty close to the water, and there's actually a herd over here. And I can't tell. I actually did clip one of them one morning going to work at like 6 o'clock in the morning because it's kind of dark and foggy out, and the herd likes to run right across the road from one field to another all the time. And yeah, at 6 o'clock in the morning in the dark, I clipped one with my bumper, just the back end of him. It didn't hurt either the car or the animal, but I was like, oh crap. That's one way to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, I have a brother that manages to like destroy a car like every 5 to 7 years on a deer or some similar, wild game. I mean, just destroy it. Of course, then, the car's toast. It's just like, wow, well done. Man, lost a great truck. Anyway, it happens. B.A. Turner. Vigilante's Creed is live on Indiegogo. Awesome. Hail to you.
I just had him on Wednesday.
Make stuff, man. We like it when people make stuff. We have Sandberg in here promoting his stuff. It's in demand. We got many creators. So thanks for dropping in, B.A. Turner. I'll give Jesse a chance to promote you when we are done with weird news. Let's do one more. What do you say? We're 45 minutes in. We only have one more segment. Let's do one more weird news, and then we'll have to hustle through a couple of topics. So. Wait, we're only an hour in. We have plenty of time. I'm not hurrying.
Oh yeah, we're only 45 minutes. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, so this is weird sauce, right? This is not a stupid human or pet trick in this case, or animal trick. This is just stupid human. Well, not really. I mean, that's kind of judgmental. I'm not going to judge you. Judge them, Jesse.
I'll be judgmental. They're stupid.
A New Jersey man collects 5,548 Pez dispensers. Okay, I'm not going to judge him on this. This is kind of cool, actually. I didn't know they made 5,500 different kinds of Pez dispensers. What do you think, Jesse?
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. That's a thing that's been around since what, like the 40s or earlier? Pez dispensers have been around forever. I remember seeing those. No, Culture. We can't really say much about this guy collecting Pez dispensers, where one of the big guys in our corner of the internet literally has an entire room plastered with toys on every single wall. So I don't think I think it would be kind of hypocritical from us to actually judge this guy. No, I think this is actually kind of cool. I love Pez dispensers. I think they're yummy. And I like the little Pez candies. And I used to go to the, when I was a kid, my grandmother loved going to antique stores, and I used to always look for all the crazy different Pez dispensers. Like I had some Star Wars ones and stuff when I was a kid. So shout out to the guy. He found something he loved, and it's not like it's a super expensive hobby either. And now he's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Like, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I loved picking those up every year and like reading through them and seeing what all the crazy records were and seeing what kind of dumb things people had done. So shout out to the dude. I'm proud of him. I think he did a good job. He deserves that award.
Yeah. Well, let's catch up with him a bit. So he says, 5,548 earned in the Guinness Book of World Records for the collection of candy dispensers. Brian Truman, he told he started doing it, found a bag of dispensers from his childhood at his mother's house in 99. Said, I had a bag of 100 in my closet at my mom's place. Mom decided it was time for her to reclaim that space. I had to decide whether to throw them away or keep them. So I kept them, and I decided I'll get the rest. Little did I know what that would entail. So he started out by getting some cheaper ones off of eBay before moving on to the rare and expensive ones. He said several more Pez dispensers came as gifts from friends and family. My sister gave me a Yoda Pez to help me study for the bar exam. Oh, wow. Okay. There were others along the way. So the collector said some of the dispensers in his North Caldwell home have been valued at more than 10 grand. All right. I'm not going to make fun of him anymore. He said he said two of the rarest items of Pez dispensers bearing the likeness of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't want those.
He's like, very few of those were made, and they were auctioned off by Pez to raise money for Make-A-Wish. I won an auction and made a sizable donation to the charity in exchange for the dispensers. So there you go.
At least it went to a good cause.
Indeed. Well, that was fun. That was a good time. All right.
That's that's definitely something. I haven't heard too many people going to that extreme with their Pez collections. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a new channel, Pezrotic. That's right.
There you go.
Indeed.
Hold on.
There you go. Wow. Wow.
Wrong button.
Clay Thomason says when he dies, his coffin will look like a giant Pez dispenser. Probably. He probably already has
That
it
would be
picked out,
perfect.
designed.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer. He can afford it.
I loved Pez dispensers when I was a kid. So did I. I'm just saying. I've read their action figures. So do I.
See, and you were going to judge this guy. You wanted us to judge this guy.
I didn't. I was going to have you judge him. I wasn't going to judge him. And this is true. Shadow Chase is right. There's nothing wrong with obsessive devotions. I agree. Right now, I'm out to collect as many fridge magnets and Starbucks cups from different places as possible. I have friends that they get those tumblers. What do you call them? The tortoise tumblers? I don't know what that word is. But anyway, they collect all the different Star Wars tumblers from all over the world because they all have like a different Starbucks emblem or something on them. It's very weird. But hey, I'm not going to judge. I do weird stuff too. I mean, you know, I like greenhouses. I like green things. I like growing stuff. I like building things. So I'm weird. I like to do stuff my own self. Yeah. All right. We got to move on. Jesse, we're headed to the next. Are you ready? We're headed to the next part of the show. It's called Today's Topics. Here we go. Okay. See, we even slowed down for the guy in the car crosswalk. So, all right. Nice. Wow. Next up, today's stories. Okay, so there's a lot of topics I didn't get to talk at length about on Midnight's Edge in the morning because I had such an abbreviated period there because I had to do a few things before I went and saw Blue Beetle, which is, well, you're going to get my thoughts on that in my own review video, which is full of spoilers, guys. I did not care this time. So enjoy. But I'm also going to talk a little bit about it over on the Barcast tonight with the group over there, Jacob and all the crowd. So that'll be a lot of fun. Space Dave sent a real quick member chat before we get to our first story. So let me grab that. Space Dave, 1 month. Thank you, my friend. Culture, your videos have been bang on lately. Thank you. I really hope people watch the one I put out today. Fridays are always tough. I always manage to put out the most intellectual ones on Fridays, and either it's just a bad day to release videos or people don't want to hear me drone on about a subject. But today I thought, when the video I made and Grant edited, that you would want to know why these actors, these vapid actors and actresses, are the way they are and why they are just phenomenally uninformed, and just how they are being conditioned, and regular people are being conditioned the same way. So that was today's theme of the video. It's one of the things I'm going to be covering kind of with the same nature. I would have liked to have called it like part one, but the next one we're going to talk about how political siloing works and how people are being driven into ideological corners, and how that's all reinforced. So it starts with the emotional aspect of things. And if you watch the video today, which I suggest you do, you'll be very well informed. Are you going to build a solar array for your house? A solar array? Yes, I am going to build, primarily for the greenhouses. I'm going to build a nice one to support that. I'll show you everything from picking your charge controller to your battery array to how to connect your webcam. Apparently, I need to work on Jesse with that, and many, many more things. So it's fine, man. You look good now. Yeah, look fine. But Mr. Tickle Trunk sends a $5 Canadian super chat, says, Jesse is freaking me out. I see Les Claypool, but I hear Larry the Cable die. Does not compute. It's true. Jesse's a great guest and he's phenomenal. So and for those of you who saw the video, thank you for the compliments. I do appreciate that. It's just one of my favorite things. So let's jump on this. We're going to get shill reactions to a lot of different things. We also are going to have a lot of people that claim to be super fans of one thing or another. And in this case, we have both. Because coming up a week from Tuesday, we get Ahsoka. So the first reviews are in, and the critics have shared their ideas and their thoughts. Now, my friend Lorena Creole is going to be doing, I guess, like a reaction party of sorts after each of these air on Tuesdays. More power to her, because I won't touch this with your 10-foot pole, Common Nerd. So what do you expect we're going to hear the common nerd, from I'm just going to say Jesse because it's easier. What are we going to hear, Jesse, from about this show, which seems to feature a lot of ladies? There's the ladies in this thing.
Well, we know exactly what we're going to hear. It's always the same kind of garbage that we hear every single time. It's going to be more of the same. Oh, holy crap. Everything just froze up on me.
Oh, you're fine. There you go. You're
back.
back.
Am I fine? Oh, okay, good. There we go. Sorry, everything seemed like it froze up on me. But yeah, it's going to be the same old kind of nonsense. It's going to be the same old kind of BS. It's such an amazing. It's so much like it's more like Star Wars than anything we've ever seen before. Oh, this is really the kind of world that George Lucas really wanted to build. Dave Filoni's just the perfect successor for him. And by the way, please, sir, can I have some more? Can I get some more early access, sir? Please, can I get in a ticket to your show? I'd love to have an early peek. It's like it's always the same kind of nonsense. Like and who's this one coming from? Who's this article by?
This one's coming from The Direct, of course.
Okay, The Direct. Then absolutely. Yeah, it's going to totally be simping access media kind of nonsense. Like the only time we ever get any like honest reviews on any of this kind of stuff is occasionally when somebody over at Variety or Deadline gets their leash let loose and they actually get to roast something properly. So it's coming from The Direct, especially. Yeah, it's going to be 100% straight simping. Like, by the way, Dave Filoni called. He needs his shoes back that you've sucked off his feet by kissing him so much.
Well, look, all I know is that the only thing in his life is Ahsoka, and that's all he worships. So, but the first two
honestly kind of creepy.
Yeah, no, it is. But the first two episodes of Star Wars new Disney series Ahsoka have gone out to critics. Yeah, they had a fan parties in theaters to watch the first two episodes as well. And boy, were those empty. Anyway,
right.
Who shared their reactions to the new entry in the franchise following Rosario Dawson's first two appearances as Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, or Mandalorian 2.3 or whatever. She'll have the chance to star in her own solo series. Solo lost money, by the way. Pushes the legacy of the Jedi to new heights. No, it doesn't. It brings it down substantially. So, coming as something of a follow-up to the wildly successful Star Wars Rebel series, How was animated. Ahsoka will reunite with a number of her old friends and enemies, finding her place in the universe as a former Jedi and a member of a tight-knit family. So critics share their reactions. Wow. I love Rosario Dawson, but this is a little haughty, in my opinion. So critics offered up their first thoughts on the series, yada yada, I don't care. Posting quick reviews on X. They were largely positive. Are you surprised?
Ooh, color me shocked. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, praising Rosario Dawson's performance as well as the series action sequences and its Star Wars lore connections.
Yeah, Ahsoka in herself is a violation of Star Wars lore. That's an argument.
Yeah. She's been dead twice now. But anyway, so Collider Stephen Weintraub, great, was impressed with the action and the story told in the first two episodes, noting that it's super easy to follow.
Simple is what that means. Simple.
Yeah. And he said, the first two episodes of Ahsoka are really good, even if you've never seen Rebels or Clone Wars. Yeah. That's what you're counting on. Nobody watched anything that matters. Impressed with the action, how it's all story. Okay. No side missions or filler. Can't wait to see episode 3. That's going to be the side missions and the filler. You not paying attention there, Weintraub? That's how these roll out. The first two episodes have substance, then you get fillers until you get to the last or second to last episode. Yeah, this is going to be dog doo-doo, and people who have honestly seen it and have had screeners of it have already reviewed it quite negatively. But total film, there's reliable. Molly Edwards felt classic Star Wars vibes. No, it wasn't classic Star Wars. It was vibes. Felt classic Star Wars vibes. While also noticing that parts of it felt more fresh. Highlighting the complex bond. I wonder what that is. between Ahsoka and Sabine. Oh, I know what that is. Along with villains and lightsaber fights. Well, there you go. Okay, and now we get Super Shell. Ahsoka is epic. It got those classic Star Wars vibes while also feeling very fresh. The first episode set the scene vividly with intriguing villains, a complex bond between the ladies, and some awesome lightsaber duels already. I really think we're in for a treat. Okay, Forbes Jeff Conway, who I often find to shill, called the first 2 episodes a true visual spectacle.
Yeah. Compared to everything else we've got, it's not a high bar.
No. But the direct's own Klein Felt. That sounds really like, doesn't that sound like a name that you would hear at a strip club? Klein Felt.
Anyway, that or on a list somewhere that's not allowed near children.
Yeah, I mean that's like Gary Glitter all over. Anyway, gave special props. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I apologize. Gave special props to Natasha Liu Bordizzo for her live action performance as Sabine Wren, while calling the series the Disney Plus Jedi epic fans have been waiting for. Wait a minute. Really? Sorry, Obi-Wan. Suck it. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, it just goes on and on. This article is complete baloney sausage. And as the Peter Venkman fan site says, copy pasta. Yeah. Yep. Shenanigans. Yeah, yeah. Burn, Disney, burn. Just going for. Anyway, what do you think? Are you expecting anything out of this Ahsoka show?
So I'm expecting some fun videos to make about how bad the ratings are going to be. And this is the sad part about this, right? Because I watched that trailer the other day on one of my streams. And the worst part about it is I looked at that trailer and I'm like, this is something I should be excited for. This actually looks halfway decent compared to a lot of the rest of the trash we've seen. But as Darth Vader sits behind there and looks at me and judges me from the back, it reminds me that this is all trash. They've burned so many bridges. They've destroyed the lore so badly that like, I can't even care. Like the graphics actually looked decent. The lightsabers didn't look bad in the trailer. And now it's like, I can't even bring myself to care. And so, I mean, yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't surprise me if Kathleen Kennedy wrapped a lovely little love story in between patient and pupil, or in master and pupil. But the worst part about all of this is this is literally ripping off the EU. It's ripping off the stories that we got with Luke and all of that kind of stuff, either in the Dark Horse comics or like in the EU books and all of that kind of stuff. They're literally just taking all of that. And somebody pointed out on Twitter, and it wasn't even somebody that I was really aware of, but somebody pointed out on Twitter, but you guys think we're going to forget the fact that she refused to train Grogu, but now all of a sudden she's willing to train Sabine. Like, what sense does that make in any way, shape, or form after she refused to train Grogu? That's the reason why we got the whole member berries where we're all of our hearts pumped for about 30 seconds, getting to see Luke Skywalker finally in his prime and at his full power.
I have an answer for you, but I can't find my scissors on my desk. So.
I mean, I can give a visual representation.
I wasn't going to do this. This is a kid show. It's PG-13.
I didn't say anything. The kids shouldn't be watching the television.
Michelle's here, though. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Better late than never.
And Soul Assassin, the Chatimal, is 100% correct. You did it way better.
Way better.
Way better. Grogu was too old. He's going to be like 900 to 1,000 years old. Too old. So was Anakin. Suck it. Man.
Anakin was like legit 18. Come on now.
Cobra Khan 007 says Heir of the Empire ripoff series. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And that's actually where I was reading the first 3 of the Heir of the Empire comic book adaptation of that earlier today, and that's exactly what it is. They're gonna it's completely and totally an Heir to the Empire ripoff. So it's really tragic. Once again, taking a man's story and giving it to a woman.
Nagardol is here. Good to see you. I love that. Look at that. Coat of arms. That's fantastic. Awesome. Hey, CC Karaoke's here too. And he's waving. I hope everybody gets a chance to check out the singing stylings over on CC Karaoke. Great crew of people over there that get to sing regular. Wish I could do it more. But I'm going to give you a palate cleanser. Actually, John Sapola is. He's watching classic Herbie Love Bug from the 60s. Great film.
I love those movies.
Those
I
were
watched
so
all
good
of
back
those
then.
when I was a
The
kid.
Shaggy DA, Son of Flubber, all the original Flubber ones, the Nutty Professor. Yeah. So good. So good. Such great actors back then.
And I think that's one of the things too. It's why another reason why nobody gives a crap about the strike and all that kind of stuff. We've got 100 years of cinema that most of us haven't seen 10 to 20% of to go back and watch.
And I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, I mean, when you go to film school or you're pursuing anything in cinema, you have to take a bunch of classes and you are exposed from the very beginning. If you're being properly taught from silent films on through, so you appreciate the art of filmmaking and what the visual medium does, whether or not it had sound or not, how you actually convey what the story you're trying to tell. And there were masters. You were exposed to Hitchcock and many, many others. I mean, Buster Keaton, you're exposed to Charles Chaplin. You're exposed from the silent era on through. Wells, many others. You get all of this. And not only are you getting a history lesson, but you're understanding how you can carry these thoughts to people. And I swear now, 90% of the people that think that they're actors, writers, or directors have not gone to any formal schooling that would have given them any of that background. But I do know this. Gojira Star is here. It's great to see you. Thanks for popping in. We have an incredible super chat from our friend Lester San Jose of the Skeptic Tank. That's right. That's a channel. Lester's been a high roller, and hopefully he'll be able to make an appearance tomorrow morning on the show. Meet the high rollers for $8. $8 is very specific, and thank you for that. What happens when you allow this? Excuse me. That's what happened when you allow monopolization over the canonization process. I agree with you. I agree with you. And again, I mean, Yoda wasn't, well cared for, and that's kind of a bummer. Little Chad's here. Show coming up. Ascendant Art is getting ready to launch here in just a little while. You can check that out later. But they do a live show on Fridays after this one. Been watching the original Wonder Years this week. Good stuff. Yes, it was. And that romance between him and Winnie were fantastic, I think. I don't know. Did you like that show, Jess?
What, the Wonder Years? Yeah, I caught a little bit of it when I was a kid. It was a little bit it was a little pre my time. Because I'm more of a child of the 90s, but I caught some of the episodes of it on like the replay and stuff. It was pretty neat. I just never got to watch it from like beginning to end or anything. So
yeah, and this is fictional stolen valor. Yes, it is. Yeah. And what's funny is, hey, what's up, Carlos? Good to see you. Carlos Alfredo Lopez. Great to see you, my friend. But no, this is true. Disney is strip mining IPs. I had an interesting Twitter back and forth today with somebody who I know for a fact was with Disney. In fact, has their sizzle reel out there. And you can find the series of tweets between me and I think Lorena Creole and a couple other folks. But he used to work at Disney and left because they had basically stripped mined everything else. Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel. They've gone through everything. And now they're just getting around to cannibalizing Walt too. And that's what's happening with this new Snow White thing and everything else. So, yeah.
Did you see what that guy's grandson said about that?
Kind of pissed.
Son, I should say.
Yeah, kind of pissed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Legitimately pissed.
Yeah. Elon Thrawn is one scary villain. His toys are going to be the best sellers. Thrawn is actually pretty cool. Mm-hmm. If you've read the books, anyway. Voice films were called talkies back then. Yes, they were. Yeah. Yeah, I have the entire horror genre unexplored, but I'm scared. You'll be fine.
You'll be
power. I do that all the time. So, yeah,
especially the old ones. You can see all the monster suits.
Yeah, you were forced to watch Citizen Kane, and when I say forced, most people are going into that going, I don't want to watch this, and by the time they're done watching, they're like, wow. I saw so many students get their candle lit to that film, Citizen Kane, because I think they really truly understood the symbolism and the way the story was being told. And if you don't know what Rosebud is, Watch the movie. You were like, really? Yeah, really. Rosebud represents something very important. Anyway, we've got a super chat for $4.99 from Nagardnall. Did I say that right? Nagardnall?
Close enough.
All right.
I just call him Nag.
All right. Well, Nag for $4.99 says, thanks. I rebranded. Used to be Sean Landrigan. Sean,
Okay.
you didn't tell me you changed your name, bro. Anyway, sorry I don't make my way over here anymore. Why are you apologizing? I'm just glad you're here now. And thanks for the $4.99. So apology accepted. It costs you less than $5. Yeah, I'm kidding. But thank you. All right. Carlos is like, question is, what's left for them to destroy? Oh, they're working on it. They're going to go to town. Classics that you used to love. You're going to watch
Fox and the Hound.
Yeah. I mean, they're just going to wreck it. I mean, the Lady and the Tramp thing was so disappointing, and they followed that up with Dumbo. And I mean, or was it vice versa? Anyway, both of them were terrible live action remakes. So that's a Black Saber.
I'm so glad I didn't watch that.
Yeah, there's so many great things out there. It's very disappointing.
It is. It's my entire childhood, especially when it comes to Disney. Like, I literally had like a bookshelf full of the old Disney VHS tapes, of all the classic cartoons, all the new ones that came out, Lion King, and I'm having Pocahontas and like all of that kind of stuff. And it's like I was a Disney kid. And now it's like everything that I had and all the love I had for that company and for all the nostalgia and everything else, it's like they just burn it all down to the ground. I'm just like, I'm here to watch the dumpster fire now and roast marshmallows and have s'mores with everybody out there in the chat while Disney just burns itself down to the ground. And that's sad.
It is sad. But you know what? And I disagree with people who think that, Citizen Kane is a snore or doesn't have the best story. But little Chad, who didn't seem to appreciate the film, appreciates the fact that every kind of shot in this invented the shot in that film. And it became the foundation for cinematography and special effects. And you know what? That's what any film school professor would tell you about it, amongst other things. Like, it's great. But anyway, it's fine. But no, like they're like the push in. You would not have push-ins, or maybe you would have eventually, but there's so many different shots. That push-in shot, literally invented. There's a lot of these things that were invented at that point. But yeah. Canadian, $2 from Mr. Tickle Trunk says, I'm sorry, I'm here all the time. Well, I appreciate it. I'm sorry too. I appreciate you very much, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
I'm just glad I'm confusing him.
You guys are great. Love y'all. Yeah, I want to get to this from Jason, but man, yeah, Heir to the Empire is an amazing story and book. I didn't see the comic books, but I believe you.
Reading it right now.
Okay, we gotta get to something. I am not interested in the unauthorized life story of Hearst. Oh, I'm sorry. Rosebud. That's interesting. People like talk about mystery box. All right. Anyway, let's get to it. I saw a film, so you don't have to, and the review's coming out. But I'm going to tell you this, and I feel sorry for my buddy, Paulie, because he really wanted this to do well. I don't think it is. 3.3 million in previews. Strays didn't do well. Both these films together earned 4.4 million in previews. No, it's not going to do well. I originally thought this would see about 200 million global by the end of its run. I might have been optimistic. Since we're only going to talk about the film in that sense, what do you think, Jesse?
This sucks because this is one of the movies I was actually kind of excited for when I first saw some of the set leaks after all the trash we'd seen from like Batwoman and Batgirl, how bad that looked. I was like, oh, okay, the suit actually looks kind of cool. Like, this is more of the Blue Beetle that I know from like Justice League and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this might actually be cool. And then of course the director opened his mouth. and all of that, and it all just kind of went to hell from there. And it's one of those things, like, as far as monetary is concerned, like, this thing's going to crash. Like, this thing's probably going to end up being worse than Shazam. I'm going to laugh. One of the things, because I was a lot of the reports, I did a video over the last couple of days. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to beat Barbie. It's beat Barbie. I'm really going to laugh if Barbie in its 5th weekend ends up still being the #1 at the box office and beats Blue Beetle out domestically. I am seriously going to laugh my butt off if that happens.
What you see, it's even more telling because Barbie does have a chance to beat everything in the box office. Oppenheimer has a chance to stay second or be in second. There's not a lot of films out there that's going to replace either of them, including these two that we just had up on screen. I mean, look, Blue Beetle, 3.3 million in previews. That's not a great start. Wolfing Strays is not good at 1.1, and I don't anticipate either of these beating any of the top 3 films. There's just nothing out there, I went today to the film with somebody, and they're actually going to use the rest of this weekend to go see Sound of Freedom. What does that tell you?
There you go. Oh yes.
So, and by the way, Wes is here dropping off a like. You should like Wes from Whatevercast. Check out the Whatevercast channel. He's also got a project going with a GoFundMe type of thing out there I've promoted before. Yeah, I just check that out. He deserves that support. He needs a little bit of money just to get it going. It's brilliant concept. It's going to be a wonderful animation, and yours truly will be one of the vocal artists on that, and I'm doing it for free. So I believe in it. I believe in it, and I believe in him. Let's see. All right, we've got I got a request for my buddy Darren, who is in the chat and one of the wrenches here. Please send me the link to the to that fundraiser that we talked about, because I would appreciate. Oh, actually, I have it. Thank you. Man, I do that every time. I have it in front of me, and then I lose it, and then I ask somebody for it, and then I have it again. I don't normally do this. I've been doing this for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to do it a couple more times because I believe that that it's important. But we actually have a person that I don't know. It's a friend of my friends. Let's put it that way. And her name is Amanda, and she is fighting celiac. And in the chat, I have put the GoFundMe for her. Okay, I'm not signed in, so I can show it. She's nowhere close to where she needs to be on this, folks. And if you have it within you, if it means that you don't send me a super chat the rest of the stream, if you could, I would appreciate the support. Is that you?
I don't think so.
Oh, all right. Well, apparently,
because I heard it coming through as well. So I was like, what the hell is that?
All right. Well, it's very strange. Anyway, I may have bumped the audio on it. I don't know. But anyway, this is something I truly support, and without the fanfare that it just got, but it does deserve it. If you can help out, I put it in the chat. I'm going to put it on the screen. Put together by Bruce Lloyd. This is for Amanda Hayden. She's sitting at 2,064. Got 39 donations, a goal of 15,000. That will really help. She is struggling at the age of 24. And let me tell you, this really sets you back in life. She's rather deserving. There we go. I struggled to get it on the screen. There you go. So yeah, medical help needed for Amanda. So there it is. If you can, the link is in the chat. My mods will repost it, I imagine. They've got new tests to perform on her for celiac. And there's a gastroenterologist that is saying that she's still got other things going on down there. So bowel disruption. She was diagnosed recently with also, in addition to celiac, gastroparesis. So that's a paralyzed stomach. So anything you can do to help would help her get some relief and help through Mayo Clinic, I imagine, is where it says. So do understand that this is rather important, and I don't normally promote these things. So there's that. Anyway, feel free to post that link again a little bit later, Darren. I would appreciate that. So back to it real quick. I got a question in the chat specifically from Darren, asking, is 3.3 million? Hey, the Bad Cap, it's great to see you. I hope your drive was safe and you had no impediments. We have a lot of people that are struggling, and like I said, I do what I can. And it's a good question. We'll see how the Blue Beetle does in Latin America with the Hispanic audience in the U.S. I think it's going to be okay, Darcipio. And again, I saw the film. I'm going to give you the rough breakdown. It's not a terrible movie. I am a little critical of it in my review, but I say that many times. It's not a terrible. You haven't seen it yet, have you, Jesse?
No.
Yeah, but 3.3 million is not a good preview, and this is one of the things I think that you're going to see. Now, I'm going to ask you, Jesse, do you think that this is superhero fatigue? Do you think it's something else? Why are we not getting more support for these DC superhero films right now?
Superhero fatigue is nonsense. Anybody who tries to push that argument as being the only or the majority of the reason why these movies are failing is either lying or just completely and totally foolish. Because nobody's going to get bored of a good quality story with a bunch of really awesome action scenes. The problem is we've gotten a lot of really mediocre action scenes and crappy story and a bunch of stars out there on the red carpet telling people that this is the biggest problem. The marketing is never about the story anymore. Nobody goes out there and markets a movie about let's take what is it? Elementals. What was it? Eternals, right? Eternals, right? What did we hear about Eternals? We never heard about, hey, we're really trying to bring Kirby's vision to life on the big screen. We're really trying to bring you the best quality story. Yeah, we're gonna have to change a few things around, but it's really still going to be the core of the story, and it's still really going to be there. And we're really trying to respect that and understand that. No, this is going to be the most diverse Marvel movie of all time. And that's all you heard. Yeah. Nobody cares and nobody trusts you anymore, even when you don't market like that, like what Homeboy has been trying to do for the last 3 months since he decided to make fun of the actual DC fan base out there, which, by the way, if anybody didn't notice, it's kind of my logo. So it's one of those things when he goes out there and does all that kind of stuff. We would love a good story. We want good stories. Nobody trusts them anymore.
Exactly. And I think that's what it is. I think nobody trusts the cinema. In fact, that was the conversation exiting the theater today I had with the person I went with, was the reason that this is doing poorly and is going to do poorly is because nobody trusts any of these filmmakers anymore, any of these studios. And I think they've lost that trust, and then they've reinforced that in their streaming offerings, right? And their streaming shows and such. So I think you spot on, man. You're nailing it, which is why your channel is so good. Mrs. Flu sent $2 though and says, I should be here more often. Post flight is easier. Well, thank you for the $2, Mrs. Flu. And I would love to have you here. You're going to be a guest on this show at some point, dear. So just prepare yourself. This will be the same grilling you'll get. Although I don't grill people.
Got to bring her puppet.
Well, way better puppet. Whatever cast for $2 says, I see Sholo. I'm going to say that because somebody said that Sholo as a future troubled former child star. I really hope not. I understand your inclination here, Wes, but I really hope not. I think he deserved better than this film, and you'll understand what I mean when you see it. Again, it's not overtly bad. It's just not great. And there are many things that you'll get pulled out of from it. And again, just watch the review. It'll release in the middle of the night tonight, I would imagine, or very late or early in the morning. So Mr. Tickle Truck sends a Canadian $2 saying Mrs. Flu for president. I'd sign up for that. She crushes it. She'd be a great president. First female president should be Mrs. Flu. I sign up. Mr. Flu is here. Toxic Man Flu himself for $2. His culture is a hunk of burn and weave. Love. Thanks. I think. I always feel like sometimes embedded in your love for me is an insult. I don't know why.
He would never. Toxic would never do something like that. I don't know why you would say such bad things.
Mrs. Flu, I truly appreciate it. Again, if you can, please help.
If you can't, share it out on your social media.
Yeah. Oh no, Vic's right. My opinion of BB is much better than comics. He hated it and he wanted to walk out. Mine wasn't there. I can appreciate where he's coming from. I mean, this guy was way more focused on comics than I was. As somebody who was invested in comics until we got into the 2010s, about was when I started to fall off and fade. I think the last book I bought was 2014. But other than independent comics, let me clarify, because I'm buying a lot of stuff now. But it's just not from any of the big companies. DC and Marvel can suck it. Anyway, yeah, I like I said, it's somewhere in the middle, folks. And I'll give you, like I said, in the review, you'll understand what I'm saying. So.
Well, I know one of the things I heard comics mention a lot was all the Mexican tropes, and that's one of the things that kind of irritates me as I'm a half Hispanic and I live in South Texas. Like, trust me, there's plenty of tropes, but you can't overdo it constantly. Like, that's why I can't stand the guy that's what's the name of that comedian that's in the damn movie, George Lopez. And I can't stand his comedy either. And it's like, plus on top of that, the guy grew up in Iowa. He acts like he grew up in LA. And it's like, I can't stand that kind of stuff.
What's weird is I mean, there are some there. I mean, there are some there, and there's some stereotypes there as well. I didn't think it was as heavy as, again, my opinion and comics opinion are not in lockstep. We're great friends. We're partners in a certain extent. But I'm going to tell you this. We don't always agree. And as far as, our channels are partners. Our business is a partnership. I partner with a lot of people. And I will say it this way. We don't always have to agree. And on this, we don't. I was not quite as upset by this film as he was. Yes, there is some of that. Yeah, I'm great. To be fair, I'm going to say it this way. This film had a strong family message, beginning to end. And we don't get that anymore. So having a little bit of it is good. In fact, this may have had some over-the-top stuff for some people as far as the family message goes. But man, it's better than what we've been getting. So there you are. And Carlos Alfredo Lopez says, this is the greatest superhero movie of all time. Well, score-wise, it's doing okay. And I understand the skepticism here, my friend. I really do. And I think 11 Alpha is correct as well. It correlates with fatigue. It's not the cause. People are tired of a certain formula. Weak stories, glib dialogue, too much CGI. With Hollywood applies to all superhero movies. I'm going to say something this is one of the key points that I make in my review, and there's many of them in there, so I'm not giving away the farm. But this would have been better as a TV film or TV series. Would have been better. At least there's romance. What's up, Jim Watari? Great to see you. And there's Sassy. What's up, Sassy? Look at that picture. I love that picture. So great to see you, Sassy. Hello, Puppet, says Vertical Horizons. There you go. So. Brightest day. What's going on, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Let's see, what else? What do you think of Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy? I love that guy. He's funny as hell. What do you think, Jesse? Are you still here? Oh, he had to step out for a minute. Okay, I just didn't catch it. We are discussing this film at 10. Yes, we are. I just promoted that. Didn't I just promote that? Yeah, I just promoted that. Did you miss that, Jacob? Anyway, it's good to see you, man. We're coming up at 10 Eastern is what he's saying, which means I'm going to get just enough time to shove something down my throat like food. And yeah. Oh, I wish I could do it, man. I promised to hang out with Jacob to talk a little bit about the film. And I told him I wasn't going to be there that long. So maybe I'll be there. Midnight Mike's in the house. Great to see you. Yeah, Gabriel's great. Oh, man. Indeed. Oh, man, you guys are rough on this film. We're going to talk about it. I have a perspective. We'll talk about it over on Jacob's tonight, but I won't give away the farm. I know this. It just didn't make enough money, and that's ultimately the thing. But we're going to get into one last final subject, and it still has to do with Hollywood, and then we can get the wrap up done with Jesse here. So we got another 20 minutes to half an hour, folks. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be fun, and it's an important one too. Hopefully Jesse gets back here in a second. But let's do it.
Huh? What?
What? No, this is important. So we're moving on from that to talk about just the box office in general. They're going out of their way to try to excuse why all of the films that have been coming out have had such poor performances. You want to guess what they're blaming it on, Jesse?
Are they still blaming it on the coof?
No, but they've come up with a new one.
It's because everybody's waiting for it to come on streaming. Don't tell me they've got a newer one than that.
No, they do. They do.
Oh, wow.
You're going to love it. And Tom's going to love the picture on the screen that we're going to have on here for a while talking about it. Tom, your best buddies on this. You're going to love it. That's right. Box Office Mayhem, Starless. That's right. Box Office Mayhem. Starless publicity campaigns start to impact grosses. So because there's no red carpet events and because the stars can't promote the films, they're failing.
This is the best thing that could have happened to the promotion of these films ever. Oh. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Weatherman. Exactly. Spot on.
What are your fan?
Like they are clawing and clamoring for anything they can possibly find to try to blame it, other than the fact that they're making a bunch of garbage that none of the mainstream wants. Their priorities and the Western culture, the Western regular Main Street folks out there, their priorities are completely and totally 180 degrees, which is why all this stuff's failing. And they'll never admit to that because that would require them to admit that they were wrong. And that will never happen. Their ego will not allow it.
It'll never happen.
No, Uncle Rodney. No, they can't.
Yeah, yep. Rodney's right. Hey, look, the Batcap. I'm glad you're safely in Philly, and yeah. And TBC's here. Hi, TBC. And nobody hid your comments that I'm aware of. I don't know, Chase. So it is what it is.
YouTube has been doing some. YouTube will auto hide. I've noticed that. They auto hide chats, and sometimes it'll show up in StreamYards, but even if you're a mod, it won't let you allow it. It won't even show up in the regular chat.
Carlos is spot on. It must be the hot summer. Nope. It's free air conditioning. I love that. That's awesome. I appreciate that, Carlos. The absurdity of it all. But look, several studio sources tell the Hollywood Republic the new Ninja Turtle film's earnings at the box office could be hurt by as much as 15%. Because we didn't get this dumbass, and I just cursed on my channel. Dang it!
Yes,
we didn't get this guy there. You know, I don't say bad words on my channel much. But anyway, so let's do this. So the scene on the Paramount lot on a warm Saturday afternoon in late July was unusual, to say the least, as the studio threw what is essentially a premiere for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Without the film's star-studded voice cast, well, nobody would know who the heck they are except for that Seth knucklehead, I don't think. Instead, director Jeff Rowe had to man the green carpet on his own at what was billed a special family screening. Across Hollywood, marketers have scrapped media tours amid the dual writers and SAG-AFTRA strikes, with guilds forbidding their members from promoting any movie from a struck company. So now, the box office is feeling the impact, saying that movie earnings could be hurt by as much as 15%. Nobody gives two poops about what these guys think, to be fair. So I guess you wanted to see Ayo Iba, or Maya Rudolph, or Seth Rogen, or John Cena, or Rose Byrne, or Natasha Demetriou, or Giancarlo Esposito, or Jackie Chan, or Ice Cube, or Paul Rudd, or Post Malone. Post Malone? Anyway.
I mean, see, people might actually be curious to see him. He seems like a pretty nice guy. Like, he actually seems like a level-headed dude.
It's kind of weird, but yeah, sure. Anyway. So can you imagine what a group photo of stars would have been like on the red carpet? Instead, we have nothing but Jeff, not a zero. Well, thanks. That's not very kind of Jeff, but well done. Look, all I know is premieres don't usually equal openings. Sorry. I mean, there are plenty of films that opened that had, that opened well, that just had basic openings. There are plenty of films that had massive star-studded gala openings and opened to dog shit. I said it again. I said another bad word. Anyway, I just
bad
this is so
influence.
it's this is so ridiculous to me. Nobody would believe Jesse. Okay, what impact? I'm going to ask you this question because I've been dominating the conversation. I'm supposed to be talking to you. What impact did this have on the film? Mutant Mayhem. What impact was it? 15% of the pro?
I would say probably anywhere from, I would say 0 to potentially 0.
Okay.
Nobody cares because the only people that care about pictures on the red carpet are the stars and 40-year-old women who hate their husbands because they want to see the dresses and they want to see all the glitz and the glamour, and they always dream of being Hollywood. And if they were still 20 years old, they run off and make their stardom. Other than that, nobody gives a crap. That's stuff for the tabloids. That's for that checkout line at your local grocery store. That's what those things are for. And for TMZ to feel special, hoping they can get some funny pictures. Nobody gives two craps about your premiere or who showed up to it or who was on the red carpet. The only people that are interested in red carpet pictures are people that are making thumbnails for YouTube videos. Like this, it's stupid. It's pointless. Nobody cares.
Man, actually,
That movie was going to fail regardless.
We don't even need that anymore. We just say, tell the AI what we want, and it'll be
right. Hey, that's pretty useful because I was trying to find a picture of ghosts protesting Disney, but there was no such thing as ghosts protesting anywhere. So AI, shout out.
There you go. Shout out to the AI tools that let us make fun of bad AI choices by studios and writers. But it's funny, and this is great because I get to highlight these things, right? And of course the film was terrible. I mean, all of us agreed. I mean, Price of Reason's crushing it on his channel lately. Guys, if you haven't checked out Price of Reason, check out Price of Reason. Yes, I found this dude a long time ago. He's great. I
actually used his review in one of my videos because of the questions he brought up. I was like, hey, that's Price of Reason.
Yeah. Bleeping out CC. Yeah, I wish. Gosh, I feel bad. I don't like cursing, you guys. I'm sorry. Hi, Michelle. It's great to see you, Michelle. Yeah, they're just punching out a bunch of excuses. Jesse, do you think ever that in a red carpet opening drives crowds to a film?
I don't think that's ever happened I mean, okay, you might be able to say like way back in like the golden age of Hollywood where the glitz and the glamour, before we had like trailers and social media constantly everywhere, I could see some of those pictures maybe making the newspaper and go, oh, wow, she looked really beautiful in that dress. But I still can't ever even see that equating to somebody wanting to go see a movie. Like that just doesn't, I don't know how that logic ever clicked with them. This always just sounded more like it was something for the Hollywood types so that way they could dress up in pretty dresses and walk down the red carpet and have a bunch of people ask them stupid questions that nobody cares the answer about because it's about them and who their dress was made by. And I'm like, I don't give a crap. I don't care. Tell me if the movie was good or not, but they don't ever talk about that nonsense. So no, I think all this red carpet and premiere stuff is just so Hollywood can sniff its own farts.
I think you're right, but it's just a party. It's like the post-rap party is what it is. Like, and again, have your party. I mean, and promote it, have cameras, do everything that you said, like TMZ gets wet for them and everything else. But at the same time, it doesn't drive anybody to the film, to the film. It just doesn't. Does this dress make my ass look big for $10? 10 for 10. Thank you. Congratulations. Have a 20 set aside for when you hit 20K. Well, thank you very much. We're going to be having the official 10K celebration. Not this weekend, but next weekend. So keep those calendars clear, kids. It'll be next Saturday. Speaking of Saturdays, tomorrow.
Shirtless casino.
Yeah, shirtless casino for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And what's funny is I'm getting the band back together. All the original dudes and then a couple of others that appeared on the original shirtless stream for Celebration are going to be there. Memes of Destruction, myself, Thomas Gilkey. Yeah, you guys are going to get, you're not just getting me. No. I'm going to give you all the moves you want or don't want. Just for 2 minutes, then come back. Because I know a lot of people are going to be like, peace. Anyway, thank you for this. I appreciate it. But a week from tomorrow, we will be having the Celebrate Good Times. Come on. And it was amazing. You guys, I couldn't have done it without all of you and all of your support. You are the best. Pet Brett is in the house. Venus was in retrograde. That's right. That's why the films super suck. Or it was a different moon phase, somebody said earlier. Yeah. Nobody's coming because, the Aurora Borealis. I almost said that right.
Yeah. Well, nobody trusts Seth Rogen to be funny anymore.
True story. Toxic Man Flu. Love this guy. He's a great producer for as long as comics doesn't fire him and then rehire him. And I think that happens like multiple times a show. Anyway, for $2 says unsub from Culture. Reverse the shirtless stream. Well, let me tell you, we are farther along than I anticipated from that happening, because normally YouTube says no, but now they're saying yes, because they want to see shirtless casino. YouTube wants shirtless casino. I give them what they want. Moobs, that's right, Tolu. Great to see you.
Is it gonna be? It's not gonna be a Thunder from Down Under Culture.
No, although comics division has some compromising pictures of me posting in front of the show, the show stand, so you can see.
Hopefully, we get to see those shortly.
Culture Burrito. There you go. Unlimited power. Culture. What's your name? CultureCasino.
Yeah, clearly.
I have many pen names. I can give those to you. Oh, by the way, speaking of pen names, do the right. I get no respect. Yeah. No, I actually have an article coming out here in a couple of places. I've been writing articles for practice to get better at it, to recapture some skill. And I've got one coming out on the Fan Activity Gazette here pretty soon. So that one is, that's a magazine that's going for a long time. It's an org. So it's a nonprofit. So but and then I've got some articles I'm going to put together for other places as well. And I've been doing the occasional video for a comics division on the Ian K channel. You should check that out. Ian K is awesome. Ian's been doing some great work over there.
I saw your name pop up on That Park Place. That was pretty neat.
Oh man, let me tell you, That Park Place is so great. Pro, Jonas, Valiant, everybody that's affiliated over there, Lorne, all the great names over there. Of course, Lorena's name is popping up over there quite a bit. You got Hughes with Hughes and so many others. That, again, I have plenty of people to interview.
Well, it's one of those things that was like, I've been following That Park Place long before Pro ever had his YouTube channel. That was one of the first websites I found when I was looking for like culture news and stuff like that. So I'm just absolutely blown away by his success. I'm so amazed. I'm so happy for him. He deserves it. It's amazing.
He's been doing really well. And for those of you watching on Rumble, hello. Sorry, I don't have the chat up. If I missed a Rumble round or something, get me tomorrow during the High Roller stream and we'll talk. And for those of you on Odyssey, it's great to see you as well. For whatever reason, Rumble didn't launch properly. I had to reset it, and then obviously Odyssey does what it does, so it's mislabeled, of course. It's labeled as the 6 Minute Daily, so I give up. I don't know what it is about these Friday shows. I have tech issues. Yesterday Rumble just wasn't working for anybody, but today Rumble's like, nah, I'm just not gonna start. Okay, thanks.
Well, yeah, because I heard you had that problem this morning. And then I went live at 11 and I'm like, my Rumble's working just fine. What did you do wrong, Culture?
I didn't do anything wrong. There was an outage. It was bonkers anyway. It just happens. But no, we got some chats I want to get to real quick. You got your average Patriot nerd. What's going on? Says I don't want shirtless casino. Okay, it's only for 2 minutes, right? So what you do is when I tell you that everybody's taking their shirts off, just walk away for 2 minutes 30 seconds. Right. And then come back, because there's a decent chance I will have put the thumbnail back in front of me and we'll be putting my shirt back on, or maybe a different shirt. We don't know. and I've got some new gear coming from our clothing line. Did I run that commercial already? I'll run it again. Why not? You check out this stuff. If you want good gear, we've got it, and we've got more on the way. Do you have style and flair? A bit of savoir-faire? Well, you're in luck. For just a few bucks, it's not out of reach. Time to get back to the beach. That's right. Beach Punk is now available for a limited time exclusively from Mixed Tees. The Make America Beach Again line is top-notch, top quality, and all about answering that question, are you beach enough? I know I'm enough. Are you? Be prepared for your very own beach off. We've got towels. We've got t-shirts. We've got muscle tanks too. And if you're cold-blooded, we also have hoodies. Not to mention mouse pads and so much more. Check out the ever-expanding line of beach punk gear available at Mixed Tees. Your home for YouTube-exclusive clothing from your favorite creators. From the minds of Dick's Division comes Beach Punk. Are you Knuff? That's right. Are you Knuff? I know. The common nerd says he's Knuff. We don't know. No shirt, no service. Well, yeah, I don't know. Ric Flair. Woo! Sorry. Anyway,
Culture. What's a mouse pad?
Yeah, there's a mouse pad. You get a mouse pad.
Oh, what's a mouse pad? It's feminine protection for mice.
No. I
Come
was gonna show you.
on.
This is my
Come
big
on.
one for
Ooh, that's
gaming.
cool. Dude,
Yeah.
that's dope. I like that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right over his head. It's okay.
No, I mean that's awesome, right? Driftwood Archives. Anyway, I got all kinds of great mouse pads. So, but anyway, wackadoodle-doo. I'll pay someone to make a green screen of shirtless culture. It'll happen. It'll probably be 6 that takes me down. Yes, I can do without shirtless casino. Again, it'll be for 2 minutes. So I will warn people. 10 guys are going to take their shirt off. You can get your shot. You make fun of me. It's fine. Look, if my friend Jay, the Canadian bear, can rock the bear onesie, I can do this. I can do this.
Shout out to the Canadian bear.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Be fine. Coach,
Grant's gonna turn it
the review is done. And why you got that common nerd guy on for? See, I'm not gonna.
Shout out to Grant. We hang out on Shag's show every Wednesday night.
I know you do. I love watching you.
So much fun.
You guys put me to sleep. You know, my 6-minute daily may put Toxic Man Flu to sleep, but you guys knock me out on Wednesday nights. We got Toxic Man Flu for $2. I already did this.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do this. From Dearest, what's up? Says for $2, the wonderful weaving world of Harry Casino. Don't tell everybody my first name.
What do we have? Harry and the Hendersons. You know, that's actually kind of what you look like. You kind of actually look like the Yeti from Harry and the Hendersons.
Yes, 6 will run it on loop. Probably. I'm going to get so embarrassed. It'll be fine.
Welcome to the internet.
CC is a scholar and a gentleman. So are you, Morb. It's great to see you. CC is this generation's Barry Gibb. Wow, if I could aspire to be that, that'd be amazing. Harry Casino. That's actually true. I do have quite a bit of hair on my chest. It used to roughly resemble an eagle. You guys will have to decide if my chest hair still looks like an eagle. Right now, there's a lot of gray chest hair and moves. I don't think anybody wants to sign up for the moves. All right. Well, I just want to say thanks for being here. So what I'm going to do is run this stinger, and that's that. That's that. So are you prepared? This last one. Here we go. That's right. We're the last bit here. It's called Plug Yourself, which gives you a couple of minutes to talk about things you want to do and bring up any subject you think I missed today. 105 people over on YouTube. We got folks over on Rumble and Odyssey, and of course, Twitter. Hi, Twitter. Take it away, Jess.
Yeah. So I do pop culture and nerd news, much more kind of similar to what Culture does, except I don't do quite as much of the business stuff as he does. He's more of an expert on that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've got comic shop talk shortly after this. Going to be hanging out with 32 Flavors and Nick Weiser, where we will be reviewing Heir to the Empire, the comic series. The 6-part special issue series that we did tonight. I, much like Culture, do a daily show as well, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, for about an hour. The morning prep, where I just hang out with all of my chat one-on-one, and we go through all the crazy stories of the day and figure out what's going to be turned into videos. So those of you that got like previews, those of you that want to see what's going to happen on the channel before it happens, come hang out with that one. Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do a Bible study. We're going through Leviticus right now. Oh, and then Saturday nights, I'm all over the place. I'm starting to feel like Culture. I've got Vets Talking, which I am now going to be probably a more frequent member of showing up with that every Saturday now, because Adam needs some help over there. with all of that kind of stuff. Our soldier spirit needs some help over there with all of that. So we're going to be helping him out with that because he just crossed 10,000 subscribers. Very, very, very proud of him. So yeah, that's what happens when you make some videos reviewing Tom McDonald stuff, especially from a veteran's perspective. People seem to like that kind of thing. So be doing that. And then Monday night, speaking of going back and reviewing old stuff that's still good, Sil Abdul, which if anybody knows who that is, he's the leaker of leakers for DC and all things Warner Brothers. Him and Diesel join us on Mondays to review Justice League, the animated series, the original one. So we're going through all of that back when superheroes were good. And then on Wednesday nights, we do Winding Down Wednesdays, where we a lot of time we highlight independent comic book creators. We actually had B.A. Turner was the one that was on last week or earlier this week. Vigilantes looks really, really awesome. Great stuff. So if you like independent comics or just people screaming and ranting about all the crazy things on Hollywood, come join us on Wednesdays. We've got a great panel over there. Lots of great co-hosts that I've got over there. My wife even made an appearance last week or this week as well. So good time. The only real thing that we've got as far as like pushing on the channel, as far as like promotional stuff is, I do have one other thing, but I'll get to that in a second. We're trying to get 100 channel members over on the Common Nerd, at the Common Nerd level. If we can get to 100 channel members at the Common Nerd level, we'll be able to keep the lights on permanently. That's all we really need over there to keep things running. So if you got the chance, if you got a little spare, you can throw it towards us. That'd be great. Absolutely appreciate that. I promoted it in all my videos. The links are in all the descriptions of my videos as well. And then the other cool thing that I've got going on right now, I'm getting to officially nerd out even more over one of my newest favorite hobbies, Warhammer 40,000. I am officially the G&G tabletop Warhammer lore master over there. So I'm going to be making videos helping out Erudai and Sevi and everybody else over there, making some videos over on Warhammer. So I've actually got some videos I've got to produce for them because I did my this is the Common Nerd intro to the channel video came out this week. So I'm doing an intro to Warhammer. What is Warhammer? All the basics, because even Erudai, and it's his channel, knows absolutely nothing about it, basically. So we're going to do all of that. We're going to go through a lot of the new 10th edition stuff, all of the craziness that's going on with that. There's also some really great lore that's come out. This is a book I highly recommend. Anybody that wants to check out Warhammer Cypher. It's about the Dark Angel. It's about a guy that nobody's really sure if he's a good guy or a bad guy. He just kind of does things for his own purposes, but he might end up having a higher purpose after all. So it's written from his perspective. It's probably one of the most unique books I've ever read because it's like reading a book from the perspective of Loki, the god of mischief, because it's like, he's like, something will happen and he'll go, well, there's no way I could have planned that, right? Like, there's no way I could have known that was going to happen, right? Well, now, was that just a vision or did that really happen? Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. Stop asking for the truth. You want to know the secrets. And it's like that throughout the entire book. And it's one of the most fun reads I've ever had. So I'm all over the place now. So come check it out. Come find me where you can. And apparently, and occasionally I get lucky and even famous people like CultureCasino come hang out on my channel sometimes. So
I love doing it. I love hanging out with you guys. And I can't find the meme that a rate specialist put together. If that's something you sent me via DM or you tagged me and I don't know where it went, so I can't find it on Twitter. So hopefully we get a chance to grab that for one of the shows coming up, my friend. I appreciate all the memes, the people who put them together. Really hard to do it on this show, but maybe it'll make it into the High Roller stream tomorrow if you can send it to me. And of course, Six is pointing out that only 8 more days, so I got to do crunches and push-ups. I don't care. See my flabby moves. I don't care.
Actually, you asked for it.
I'm not that unfit. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. We've got a few more things I want to do before we get out of here. We love you, Diesel. You guys are great. And do you have a tramp stamp? No. If Culture has a giant that's not it. If Culture has a giant tattoo on his chest like Danny Trejo, then I will be happily surprised. That'd be really cool, right? Danny Trejo's a great tattoo. I never thought like a chest plate would look good on me, to be fair. But all right, we got to get out of here. I want to say thanks to each and every one of you guys. Make this show happen. You made it happen today. We had several of you dropping super chats and many of you supporting the GoFundMe that hopefully we can get dropped in the chat one more time for Amanda. Again, a person I do not personally know, but again, fighting something that is absolutely terrible. And we have a lot of people that are dealing with their own challenges on a daily basis. Many people in the chat right now. Know that you are always on my mind, and I'm always thinking about you. So thank you very much, Darren, for dropping that. I appreciate it. And for those of you looking for something to do right after this, before you go and see any of the other amazing streams that are going to start up a half hour from now, go check out Ascendant Art. In fact, you don't even have to do the hard work. I actually have this set up to redirect over there right after we end. So check that out. Check out The Common Nerd. Check out all that he does, and check out all the wonderful creators that he mentioned. And, check out Morb, who's launching his stuff here pretty soon, too. We've got amazing creators I like to promote. Gonna have to do a whole month of nothing but wonderful creators launching programs. Have a great day, everybody. And, of course, as always, we've got to end with the proper clip. The proper clip. No, I'm not going to put Gary in front of you. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, don't do that. I literally go away from your show every Sunday night when you put that on. That's a good way to get everybody to leave.
I actually feel like everybody, the audience actually grows, but hey, it is what it is. People are freaky.
That's disturbing.
Right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Love you guys.
Be seated at this time. We're landing in about 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for exposing how much you love Culture Casino.